Crap, dude. So have you ever heard real life stuff? Here he is. Speaks of a recovering from a snowplow accident. I believe it's that eye, the left eye. So he was trying to operate a snowplow, had an accident where it crushed him, completely destroyed his leg where he had like a titanium leg. And when he was under it, his eye popped out. And since he couldn't move, he decided that he was going to move because he could see with his other eye, his eye popped out. He was going to move his eye around to keep it more on ice in case that he could salvage the eye. He didn't have anything else to do but try to get his eye on more ice. That is real. That is like Stephen King level macabre crazy BS. You think it's just in the horror movies? Dude, can you say that is some like amazing Chuck Norris level Giga Chad badassery? That when you're stuck under a snowplow and your eyes popped out, you're trying to move your head around and make sure that the eyeball gets more ice to preserve your eyeball? Dude, that makes Chuck Norris jokes about the boogeyman is hiding under he's under the bed because he's hiding from Chuck Norris look like absolute garbage. That is, and then when he was recounting it, you could tell how he looked to the side. You could tell how he looked to the side, and he was like recounting it, and then he just started busting up laughing. Dude, this dude, man, oh man. So I'll have a thing. I've had several injuries. I work out to try to keep in shape. Sometimes I'll strain myself, and I don't know if anybody else out there works out. When you give yourself a strain, it's harder to work out more. You have to rest, but you want to work out. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to get like physical strain when you're trying to work out and push it. It's your body's telling you no, but you get a good rush. You get good endorphins off of the exercise. It's very frustrating. It can almost be borderline depressing because once you hit the bed and then you feel the ache and you're like, God, I wanted to work out more. This is depressing. Man, I'm telling you, man, Jeremy Renner, dude, it's not to be like, use what happened to you in a vampiric way where I'm gaining from your pain. But man, that makes me feel like I'm almost like foolish for worrying about the foot strain, man. You imagine staring at your eyeball, looking at your own eyeball. Just that. I'm not even going to talk about the ice. You're so jacked up, you're looking at your own eyeball. And it does downward comparison where like, I'm not going to sit here and whine and rock back and forth and give a shower of tears over my physical issues. This guy got through that being stuck underneath a snowplow, staring at his own eye that had popped out of his head. I've never even thought that is a possibility. I'm sure if you thought of it, you could realize it's a possibility. I've never heard of someone staring at his own eye. And then going through recovery and like plowing through it. That to me, that is mentionable. So I mentioned the Joe Rogan podcast with Robert Rodriguez. I wanted to see if it was true, in fact, Robert Rodriguez is the first instance in his movie Desperado to use cool guys don't look back at explosions. Which I found I think he might be the first. RoboCop got close, but not, no cigar. This to me was fascinating. That was the most fascinating part I heard. Like that takes, this may seem like apples and oranges at first, but there is a comparison here. You know that whole thing about the 100 men versus one gorilla? And you know how a lot of times the people that side with the one gorilla, they'll talk about the gorilla's strength and how humans could be fearful, they're soft, they could get their head popped off like a Pez dispenser for milk and cereal. Okay, people forget the resilience and strength of a human being, man. This dude is trapped under a snowplow, and he's got the resolve enough to move his head around, to move his eyeball around the ice to try to preserve his eyeball. Humans are capable of resilience that is almost. Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man. When I, dude, when I heard that, I was like, wow, dude. Dude, you should, hey, Wesker, you should hear this dude's nonchalant badassery about it. So he'll say stuff like, well, thankfully I didn't get any head injury. Oh, maybe I shouldn't tell people that in case I make a mistake in life. I could just refer to the head injury. He starts laughing. I mean, this dude is like, you know how it's worn out. People use it too much. But you know the whole built different thing? This dude is built different. And it makes me feel like don't want to cry when you get a sports strain, when you're running and you got a strain in your feet or you're like your neck's cramped or something. Man, don't cry about it, man. This guy played sumo wrestling with a snowplow and he's laughing. Look at him. Look at him laughing there, dude. That is amazing. And I wanted to mention it because I find things that don't seem real to be very interesting, dude. Just imagine what like a Stephen King novel-esque scenario that would be to be stuck under thousands of pounds of steel crushing your leg, dude, in your head. And you're like, dude, well, if I get out of this, I still want my eyeball. I better move it to the ice. Shit, dude. Like, imagine that happened. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it was like exactly. Yeah, he's probably going, hey, dude, well, at least I'm awake for this. I'm alive. Oh my god, Jeremy Renner is totally Tool lyrics, dude. Dude, check it out. It's Jeremy Renner Keenan. Check it out, dude. Here's Jeremy Renner, man, but I'm breathing, so I guess I'm still alive, even if the signs seem to tell me otherwise. Got my hands bound and my head down and my eyes out. Dude, like Jeremy Renner makes this Tool song look like benign. Like Jeremy Renner has gone through more with that snowplow than the Tool lyrics are trying to hyperbolically talk about pain and suffering. Like, you know what I mean? Even if the signs seem to tell me otherwise, got my hands bound and my head down and my eyes closed. Eyes closed? He's got his eyes out. The snowmobile took his eyes out. His eyes off. Like face off. So, like he's literally exploding his head out, man. And that kind of attitude, like you could use that as an attitude for life. You know? You feel like you're crushed under a snowplow? We all have. We've all felt like we're crushed under a snowplow. Move your eye over to do what you can do. He did what he could do. He moved his eye over to the ice. This is like a personality thing, dude. Yeah, literally out. So to me, I'm sure I knew it was literally possible to do so, but I've never heard of somebody looking at their own eyeball. That is just, and maybe this channel really does need some metal music in the background, because this is metal. Yo, dog, I heard you like metal. So I have Jeremy Renner talking about moving his popped out eyeball onto the ice when he can't move anything else, while I'm listening to some some public domain metal so you could get thrashed while you get sped. Fuck yeah. That was almost like word salad and memed. It was the yo dog meme, but then with a pinch of word salad. So I didn't finish the podcast. I imagine that later he talks about like Hurt Locker and stuff. I gotta learn exactly how the copyright stuff works. I would love to hear him talk about Hurt Locker right now. But is that a copyright issue? Wesker, we gotta figure that out. We gotta figure out what the limits are, because I would love to get in here right now and listen to this part, because I absolutely freaking love this movie. In fact, some of the things I saw with Jeremy Renner, I was like, eh. When I saw Jeremy Renner in the Hurt Locker, I was like, oh no, okay, I get it. I get the Jeremy Renner why he's a star. He did perfectly. He really complimented the realism of that movie. Oh, I want to watch it right now on stream so bad, dude. Oh, do I? Problem is, I don't know if I can relax and give good commentary if I'm worrying about copyright stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude, he got absolutely bodied, literally, from that snowplow. Dude. So, downward comparison. So I'll give you an example about downward comparison. Say you're depressed. Say you don't want to move, out of bed, but you make yourself, you go to the psychiatrist. So if you meet fellow depressed people, you find some people have depression so great, they will tell you they physically will not leave the bed because they can't. Like if downward comparison is people with a similar issue than you, look at a more extreme version and you'll realize you don't got it so bad, and it kind of gives you like a second wind to appraise what's going on, and you'll be like, I need to quit whining. This dude's got it worse. So I feel like when it comes to like physical pain and stuff, like I'll get like neck cramps, my feet will get strained, and I'm carrying too much weights while I'm running. I'll carry like, I'll carry like, 20 pounds, 10 pounds with me? Is it? Well, I think it's 20. I'll carry 20 pounds with me when I'm running sometimes. And then I kind of overdid it. I was kind of almost like training. I wasn't just running casually. I kind of naturally found myself. I wasn't consciously training, but I ended up naturally training. And then I, strained myself where I had to pull back a little bit. And it was very frustrating. God, you hear stuff like this. Or like Kurt Angle? Kurt Angle's injuries, dude? You got a little bit of foot pain, man, or you got like your knee aching once in a while, dude. These guys will let you know, man. You save your tears. What a waste of good suffering. Now, check it out. Kurt Angle injuries. And I know this guy's really known for that meme. You know that meme? So I don't know if people that are familiar with this meme even know the origination of what. Okay, you see this? And I think he said something too, like he wasn't very happy that people were doing this. But the reason that his eyes are like this is he was taking lots of pain medication, prescription medication. And he took enough over a period of time where it's like, look, this is your brain on prescription pills over a period of time. Look at that stare. So he wasn't like that originally. Now, the reason that he had that is he has had a legion I mean, you might actually be surprised if the number of injuries he had might actually reach Legion levels. You know, Legion being the number. What was Legion, like 1,000 or something? So Kurt Angle has suffered several injuries throughout his career. These include breaking his neck. The dude is pro wrestling after a broken neck, man. Yikes. He said during an interview I watched recently, the guy's like, well, you put yourself through a lot of pain. Are you in pain now? And he goes, as I'm talking to you, I can't feel my hand. It's numb. Like, every day, this dude is giving himself such dramatically extreme giga sports injuries that he can't sit down and talk to a guy without his hand being numb, man. Resulting in herniated discs, cracked vertebrae, and pulled muscles. Oh, man. Having both knees replaced. Both of his arms have atrophied and lost roughly 3 inches in length, and he can't feel his 2 pinkies at all. Did see. You could do some positive stuff with streaming. If anybody is feeling like, oh man, I just, you know, what's a common injury? You know? I broke my finger at work, you know? And you got maybe some pain pills and you got like a little cast going on. It sucks. Everybody knows it is the worst. Like, we forget it. If you see a guy in a cast or something, just immediately have sympathy for the person. Injuries are terrible. But just know there are levels. There are different circles of hell, man. And like, I would use Kurt Angle and Jeremy Renner as good examples of downward comparison. Like, if you broke your finger at work, or twisted an ankle or something like that, even if it could be extreme, man, like maybe you dislocated your arm, or you like got like a bad back injury or something, dude, people survive through it, and look at the smile. Now, I know there's other variables. The dude's a millionaire. When you're a millionaire, there's it might be a little easier to take a breath and smile. I get there's different variables, but just talking specifically on that one variable, your physical health, like, think of people, use downward comparison, and it doesn't just have to be stuff like sports injuries or like doing well physically. It could be, there's a cornucopia of things in your life where you could use downward comparison to say, not to look down on him and like, oh, look at this dude with the big saucer eyes and he can't feel his fingers. Not in a pity way. If anything, you could be like, honor what they're going through and then say, man, isn't it really pitiful for me to feel sorry for myself when this guy's going through atrophy, has a broken neck, he went through a terrible prescription pill addiction. Like, they've found downward comparison. Yo, I'm doing good. Oh, okay. Oh, well, thanks a lot for sharing your art. Said you should be fine. Cool, man. That seems to be a common solicitation, the art. Okay. Let's look up downward comparison. Downward comparison refers to comparing ourselves to others who are worse off than us. It's a way to enhance subjective well-being and make us. They found through research too, you will feel better. Feel better about our abilities and traits. However, there's a danger to both downward and upward comparison. Interesting. Downward social comparison refers to comparing ourselves to people who are worse off. Can help us enhance our self-esteem and boost our confidence in various scenarios. Yeah, exactly. Like if you hurt yourself, ask yourself if you've ever had it where your eyeball popped out of your head and you're looking at your own eyeball. I can't get over that, dude. Like, I get it. Like a Stephen King book, I get that. That would be kind of cool. I would. Oh my god, that should be in a movie, dude. Have the POV of looking at your other eyeball, like from the screen perspective. That should be in a movie. You know, a lot of times some of the best fiction comes from real life. Dude, make that happen, Hollywood. However, it can also have negative consequences, such as making us arrogant or hostile. Ooh, I could see that. Only if you blamed them. Right? I ain't blaming Jeremy Renner. I ain't, like, kicking him while he's down. I guess that would be part of it. Like, how you appraise that person. So from what I heard, and this could be old information because this goes years back. I researched it before, and it was usually mentally healthy, balanced psychological a person, the more he tends to be, the more he would do stuff like this as a tool. When students underperform, they may resort to... Okay, we understand what it is. See, I don't think it goes beyond self-esteem. I think I esteem a lot of times the person you're doing downward comparison with. I esteem they're going through something I'm not even imagining as possible. I can't even imagine looking at my own eyeball. That doesn't enhance my self-esteem. It enhances my esteem of what a badass he is. It makes me realize that I'm not in a point in my life right now where I'm staring at my own eyeball. I think I can relax and chill a little bit. You know what I mean? Wesker, what do you think about the music in the background? Is it too loud? Does it add? Does it detract? I'm kind of digging it a little bit. I'll be honest. I've never heard of Upward. It's when we compare ourselves to people who are better off, such as students who get better grades, or even our mentors. You know what an idea I came up with that I suffer from sometimes? I think people that have anxiety do this. They had downward anxiety, where you fear or feel anxious for someone doing worse than you. Like, I'll give you an example of what downward anxiety would look like. Say I just got done on the podcast watching Joe Rogan talking to Jeremy Renner being stuck under a snowplow, right? And now you're on the road, you're driving. You feel downward anxiety, like, well, this could be the moment I'm about to be Jeremy Renner, stuck under a snowplow. Is that... I don't know. Do I even look that up? I came up with it. I thought I was going to find it. Social comparison theory. Okay, we got milk and cereal done. I'm going to do a little bit of OCD here, where I see it saving. I see it's saved to drive. I did... You know what? Yeah. I did some Jeremy Renner. I did some DBD. Talking about base kit Coke. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, thanks for the input. Actually, let's do a sound check.
It's Tyson from the All American Rejects. Check out our new song Sandbox on YouTube and YouTube Shorts.
Shut up. Shut up. So it was barely heard by you? Now tell me. I got a question, Wesker. Now, is it too loud that it blots out me speaking? Like, it'd be interesting to know, like, a good volume. Oh. Royalty free, okay. I was like, my brain just went, this is royalty free? Like, wanted to add this in the movie, man. Why did Hollywood spend hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars on a song? So is that too loud? It's actually too loud for me, maybe. I mean, you gotta hear yourself thinking when you're doing a stream. How's that? Alrighty. I think we're at stream's end. Is this a movie title or something? Get out of here, man. Well, on that note, dude, I like you, dude. All right, I think I'm gonna end the stream. We did Jeremy Renner, Base Kit Cope on DVD, and we did some Milk and Cereal. All right, have a nice day.